All right. So tips for exercise success. Again, please stop me and ask your questions if you don't understand what we're talking about. So today we're going to cover, let's say you have a goal, okay, which is number 2 on the list here that you see, SMART goal, and we'll cover what they are. And you want to, achieve that goal. And that goal is fitness related, apparently, because this class is fitness related. So how can you make this process or journey a success? That's what we're going to discuss today. A SMART goal, I'm going to start with the number 2 here. SMART goal is an acronym. SMART is an acronym, and it stands for S, specific, M, measurable, A, attainable, R, realistic, and T, time specific or time bound. So what it tells us that when we set a goal to achieve about our fitness journey or fitness level, let's say we want to improve our body tone or we want to lose some weight, that would be a goal. It has to be specific, okay? You just cannot, if you want success, okay? If you want to guarantee that you're going to be successful in the journey, you have to be specific. Yes, I want to lose 10 pounds, okay? That's the specific. Measurable, can I measure that? Yes, 10 pounds, so I can measure myself in the beginning and then at the end of the journey, but I haven't specified the time yet. Attainable, okay, so I'm just gonna set a time goal. Let's say I want to lose 10 pounds in 1 week. Is that attainable or realistic? It is.
I mean, if you get sick, I think I did that once.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah,
That,
wasn't fun.
Yeah, that's not a good way of losing weight. The recommended amount is 1 to 2 pounds a week. Okay, that's the research. If you want to write it down, 1 to 2 pounds per week. And we want that to come from fat, not any other tissue. Like, you don't want to waste your muscles that you've been working hard to put on, or you don't want to deceive yourself by losing the water weight in the body and think that it's the fat loss. So we want to guarantee that it's coming from the fat. And if it is coming from the fat, it takes a lot of work to create a deficit to lose 1 or 2 pounds, because 1 pound of fat is equal to 3,500 kilocalories. So within a week, you have to create that intake and out expenditure deficit, food intake and energy expenditure deficit of 3,500 calories to lose just 1 pound of fat. So the recommended amount is 1 to 2 pounds per week, okay? So if I say 10 pounds a week, it's not attainable. It's not even realistic, okay? So I'm gonna say I have 2 months that I'm setting aside for this goal to achieve, and I'm going to lose those extra 10 pounds within 2 months. That is measurable, that is specific enough, that is attainable, realistic, and I have a time limit, okay, which is 2 months. So if I have a SMART goal, experts say that you have a more chance to achieve that goal, okay? And then let's get to number 1, evaluation list. What it tells us that first you have to sit down and look at yourself, look at your life from an outside perspective, like someone else analyzing you with your own eyes and telling you what you're doing wrong, what you're doing right in terms of your fitness goals. You can apply this to any goals in life, I'm telling you, like personal development or your academic performance. So make sure you have an objective eye looking at yourself and identifying those areas that need to be improved. Okay, let's say it's not about just exercise if you want to lose weight. It is about mainly, actually 70% comes from your diet and 30% comes from the exercise. So let's say we're taking care of the exercise part, and I'm exercising 3 times a week, and doing everything I can to burn calories, but I don't seem to lose weight. I wonder why. Evaluate your life. Maybe you're snacking too much, maybe you're eating too much, maybe you think that you're not eating unhealthy, but you are. So those are the things that you need to evaluate to, again, have success in your journey. Okay, number 3. Since this is an exercise class, we're going to work on exercise success. Workout companion, or anyone, a buddy, or anyone that you can rely on to tell you to, or remind you to work out on a regular basis. Group fitness classes, I think they're great excuses to, put us on our feet and be disciplined. And just like this one, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we have to be here, we have to be accountable and exercise. So that's a good idea. Right now it's almost impossible, and one of our professors yesterday sent us an email regarding a new research. They found that the coronavirus can spread faster in a group fitness environment. So those group fitness classes will be suspended for a while. We can only have the group fitness classes on Zoom, and we're doing our best to get motivated as a group, right? So that's another way. Being accountable to someone else. 4th, be selfish. This is very important, especially for those who have other responsibilities like kids in their lives. Okay, yes, we do have those I'm a single mom. I'm doing everything here: shopping, cooking, cleaning, taking care of my daughter's homework, her needs, and everything. So, and also teaching. But I have to be selfish at least for 30 minutes to 1 hour a day to set aside time for me. Okay, me, my time, me time. This is my time. I'm gonna be selfish. I'm sorry, kids, or I'm sorry, my students. Sometimes you email me and you don't get a response right away. That means I'm doing something, either my responsibilities or I'm doing me time. Okay, so that's very important. Reserve a special time, and please be consistent with this and persistent as well. Try to schedule this into your calendar and make sure you hold yourself accountable. Okay. 5, progress slowly in the beginning. Yes, if we want to see results, we tend to be impatient. We want to see the results. That's the human nature. We get so excited in the beginning, and then we lose that motivation towards the end. But if you believe, and if you now, I mean, you are a student at San Jose State, that means you have the scientific background and enough education to know that if you put in the time, you're going to see the results, but it takes a while. So in the beginning, don't be rushing. Okay, don't be wasting your body just to burn more calories, going out in the heat, running for 2 hours because you want to lose that weight. This is just one example. You can apply it to anything. Like, you want to put on some muscle mass, you want your biceps to be bigger, you cannot be lifting weights for 5 hours a day. Okay, so you have to start slowly and believe and teach your brain that it's going to happen if I keep at it, if I stick with it. And do not compare yourself to others. This is coming directly from the scientific knowledge that we have in this field. It is totally an individual response. Even though I'm telling you it takes a while, or this happens, that happens, it is all individual, guys. The responses that we see, yes, we have a protocol for cardio or for adding some muscle mass, but those are all general guidelines. When it comes to a specific individual, they have their hormones different, they have their minerals different, the body shape, the way the foods are being processed in the body. They might have some disorders. So it is all individual, and you cannot compare yourself with others saying, they're doing the same things, they're eating the same things, but they're losing weight, I'm not. Maybe there's another underlying reason to that. Okay, so do not compare yourself to others. When it comes to group fitness classes here, we see other people, sometimes they're going with many repetitions more than we can, but that's them, and this is me, my body, and I'm going to be very determined to just focus on my own goal. Okay, that's another thing. 7, proper shoes and clothing. We talked about that, and especially during the summer months, try to stay away from cotton clothing and choose the breathable ones, like they're polyester or nylon based. But of course, there are breathable ones, Gore-Tex or the Nike. I don't want to be advertising any brands here, but Reebok, Nike, Adidas, or Fila, or whatever. Even at Walmart, you can find those breathable fabrics. They're very important because cotton tends to soak in the sweat, and it sits there during your workout, and it's not good for getting the heat out of your system. It doesn't evaporate well, so try to go with non-cotton exercise t-shirts or bottoms or tops. Shoes, of course, very important, especially if you're doing high impact like running, jumping, the high intensity interval training. So make sure to use shoes, not do it with barefoot. This is another important topic. Number 8, plan exercise session at least 2 hours after or 1 hour before a big meal. Yes, we have to replenish whatever we just lost, especially the minerals, vitamins, and the water. But do not eat right after a workout. Half hour is a good idea, but not a big meal, just to replenish your.
Professor,
Yes.
I had a question. I was wondering if we're doing like a weight bearing exercise, would it be good to drink a protein shake immediately after our workout, or should we still wait?
Immediately, like you just stop literally and then you go for the protein shake. Is that what you're talking about?
No, like finishing a workout and then like 10 minutes later making a protein smoothie.
Yes, that's fine. It's just a smoothie, but not a big meal. And I would recommend putting other macronutrients in your protein shake as well, like some carbohydrates and some fat.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, the research has shown us that that's the best way of replenishing everything in the body if you are looking to put on some muscle mass. Okay. But make sure to do your workout 2 hours after a big meal, because your body is still digesting. It's not going to be able to produce enough force to create enough overdose, or how do I say, like enough stimulus for your body, for your muscles to grow. Okay. Also, it's not very comfortable. Number 9, be patient and be consistent. We talked about this. Stress quality, not quantity. This is something that I have to work on myself too. I get excited and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna run 5 miles, and then I hurt my lower back, and that's the end of it. Then I have to stop for a while. So not quantity, but quality. Have good form. Stress the good form in your repetitions instead of doing like 30, 60 repetitions with a lousy form. Okay, and just keep at it. That's the key. Okay, I keep telling my clients who want to lose weight or who want to gain muscle mass the same thing. What you do doesn't make a big difference. How you do it, how consistent you do it, makes a big difference. Some people get excited in the beginning, they start really strong, and then they give up. That's not what we want. And they start strong, meaning doing really, you know, functional moves, moves that other people cannot do. I mean, you can do the same thing over and over again, but still see the results if you are consistent with it. Okay? And number 10, be aware of overexertion signs. What are them? Heat exertion, very important. Heat exhaustion, okay? During these times, if you choose to do outdoor activities like walking, running, try to stay away from heat and keep hydrating yourself. Dehydration is when you lose a lot of water from your cells and from the muscles. Hypohydration is when you cannot put that water that has been lost back into its place for a while. Sometimes it lasts about a week. Your core temperature stays up, and your heart rate becomes faster than usual. Like normally your resting heart rate is around 60s, maybe 70s, and you realize even when upon waking up in the morning, you're like out of breath. That might be a sign of overexertion. That might be a sign of dehydration. So breathlessness, dizziness, which is a little extreme if you keep feeling dizzy. Tightness or pain in the chest, another one, short of breath or out of breath. And if you tend to observe yourself during the workouts, not being able to control your muscle moves, like you're trying to do the bicep curls, but your body cannot really handle the weights well like you used to. So these might be, or nausea, these might be signs of overexertion. That means you're doing too much too soon. Okay, you're being impatient, you want to see the results, and you're just overloading your body in a way that you shouldn't. So those are 10 tips for exercise success. Do you have any questions? Good. Okay then. Now let's close this file and talk about what we're going to do for the practice today. Can you still see my screen? Okay.
Yes, we can.
Thank you. So from the chart, we're going to be on the, oops, not all of it, but on this box. So the muscle, let's talk about the body part first. The chest is the upper portion of your torso, right? The chest area. And the main muscle is pectoralis major, okay? Pecs or pectoralis major. And the opposing muscle, if this is the agonist, antagonist would be the mirroring muscle or mirroring action, okay? If you work the chest by pressing, you're gonna work the upper back by pulling. So pressing versus pulling, or chest versus upper back. What are those muscles of the upper back? Rhomboids, mainly, this most superficial, the one that you can touch here underneath your skin, and middle trapezius. Trapezius muscle runs from your neck all the way down to your pelvis, and this is the middle portion. The reason I'm telling you the names of the muscle groups, because I want you to pay attention to upper and middle and lower trapezius. Those are the three portions of your trapezius muscle. And if you get too stressed out, or if you sit on a computer too long, or if you, those are even called text necks. Texting too much, letting your hang down, or stressing out too much. Upper trapezius, the upper portion of the trapezius, which is basically the upper portion of your neck or your torso, gets fired constantly. in a fashion that it becomes so stiff you cannot relax it. A remedy for that is to strengthen the middle portion of your trapezius, which is your upper back area around your scapula or your shoulder blade. If you make your, or if you strengthen your middle back or middle trapezius, it's going to take the load off of your upper trapezius a little bit. I would like you to understand this and work on it constantly. Even if you don't have any external resistance, you can do upper back exercises even by sitting and, you know, pulling your elbows back, pinching the shoulder blades together right in between a study session, or when you find yourself texting too long, letting your hand down too long. That's the muscle groups. So we're going to be doing the presses. If we had the ability to go to a gym, you would see an incline press, decline press machine, or set up flat bench chest press, which we're going to do today. And another press exercise would be a push-up. We have already done that. We can try it again unilaterally or bilaterally, both arms together or a single arm. And mainly another move for your chest is a fly, chest fly or a bench fly. Instead of bending your elbows, okay, and pressing this way, you kind of do the hugging motion like this, okay? Hug something. That's called a fly. Now, if you were to reverse all the movements that I just showed you, okay, pressing or fly, you're going to end up working your upper back. So instead of pressing, I'm going to pull my elbows back. So this one can be also done with different angles, like the incline decline. We call them high rows or low rows or middle rows, okay? So when I bend my elbows, that's called a row. When I don't bend my elbows and just extend my arms back horizontally, that's called a reverse fly, okay? One thing that I just remembered yesterday for some reason that I forgot to tell you, that if you want to work a muscle group efficiently, the direction of the pull or the lift has to be exactly opposing the gravity. Okay, does it make sense? So if I want to work my biceps, I'm doing this, right? I'm pulling up against the gravity. It's exactly the opposite of gravity's direction. Therefore, when you do a reverse fly sitting, it's just awkward because, you know, I can work my upper back this way, yes, without resistance, but I'm still not working against the gravity. That's why we created these positions of the body, like bent over reverse fly. So I put my body into a position so that the direction of my pull becomes opposite, okay, like this, to the gravity. If this is too hard for someone who doesn't have enough control through their lower back, then we use a ball, then we use a bench. I can put my chest onto a bench and do the reverse fly that way. Does it make sense? Yes, I can do it standing, but that's going to reduce the ability of my muscle to generate the maximum amount of force. Therefore, I'm not going to be able to improve the strength and endurance of that specific muscle group to its maximum capacity. Any questions, guys? This is what we're going to do today. So you will need some sort of resistance to do the press motion. If you have hand weights, make sure to grab them. If you don't, you can use water bottles again, or these laundry soaps, anything that you can use as a weight, okay? And for the rowing, we have to be pulling something. So if you don't have a band, make sure to use something that, you know, old t-shirt that can be stretched out. Okay? Any questions? Okay, I'm gonna stop